Way around, the other way around. Breaking news. Let's start this again. Iron Maiden drummer has retired from touring. Guys, Stefan Giroux, thank you for jumping on. Giles Lavery, thank you for jumping on. I can sort of read the statement if you guys like, or just we could brief it.
Yeah, I read it. I'm sure everyone who's watching this has read it. But
I'll highlight it then, and then you guys could weigh in. All right. Iron Maiden drummer Nicko McBrain has announced his retirement from touring. The 72-year-old musician, who has been a member of Iron Maiden for more than 4 decades, revealed this today on social media. His statement was, "After much consideration, it is with both sorrow and joy I announce my decision to take a step back from the grind of extensive touring lifestyle. Today, Saturday, December 7th, São Paulo will be my last and final gig in Iron Maiden. I wish the band members much success moving forward." He did mention that he'll still work on some side projects. He's not getting out of music altogether, but he is retiring from Iron Maiden's touring. Rod Smallwood also had a statement. You could read that online, basically saying, "Nicko, and we love you. We love you. Thank you for being a force behind the drum kit for Maiden for 42 years, and my friend for even longer. I speak on behalf of all the band when I say we will miss you immensely." So you could check that out online, the statement. Giles, first thing that comes to mind when you think about Nicko retiring, is this something that you saw coming or not?
Well, I hate to be that kind of know-it-all kind of guy, but I mean, I saw them numerous times on the last tour. To me, it was pretty obvious that something was up with Nicko before he announced the news of his stroke. It was, yeah, and then obviously the performances on the last tour. While it's been awesome to see them celebrate the somewhere in time, somewhere on tour era, it has been very obvious that Nicko hasn't been in top form, and it has affected the shows, the energy of the shows to some degree. So no, I'm not surprised at all. I actually thought they'd do it. Is this the final night of the tour tonight?
Tonight is the final night of the tour. His goodbye. His goodbye.
I figured they'd probably do something like that, and I also thought that it was highly unusual for them to get a new tour on sale. So in the middle of a current tour, they're obviously promoting next year's shows, so they probably wanted to get that out there and on sale before announcing a change, to not give anyone
that's a very good point.
Concern that if something was wrong. Let me say this: my guess as to who the new drummer is going to be, and it's just a guess. I think it's going to be. I could be totally wrong. I'm going to throw Joe Lazarus' name out there as the drummer.
All right, Stefan. Before you weigh in, I just want to tell everybody. Nicko has been in the band, or actually, he met the band while on tour with Trust, 1981, right? He replaced Clive in 82, but in 83 is his first album with Peace of Mind. Stefan Giroux, what are your thoughts? What did you think when you first heard this morning or saw the post by Iron Maiden that Nicko's no longer in the band? How did that make you feel?
Two things. I saw it before my coffee, so my brain was a little foggy. Sadness, and just like Giles, I was not surprised. I am aware that Nicko went into this last tour, knowing that age-wise, and as Perrin is about to join us in a few minutes, I knew for a fact that he was having a hard time keeping up. I saw 3 shows of the Somewhere Back in Time tour, and I'm not a musician. I could not necessarily notice a change for me. It was simply Iron Maiden being Iron Maiden, and Nicko giving his best. But he is the oldest member of the band. He had his fair share of health issues over the years, and being a drummer for Iron Maiden is not the same as being the drummer for the Rolling Stones. No disrespect to Charlie Watts, but there's a difference between and nonstop for years and years and years. And I'm not surprised that a man his age could start finding it difficult. And he is the sort of marching band behind the cavalry when the band performs on stage. He's not just the guy who keeps the beat in the back. He's the guy who keeps the beat up front, like bang, bang, bang in your face. And his face has always been like, like literally Eddie on stage. And clearly, the man could not keep up this level of energy for the rest of his life. So, yes, unfortunately, I saw it coming. But to Iron Maiden's credit and to Nicko's credit, they could have gone the Fleetwood Mac way, where you got Mick Fleetwood pretending he's playing and a second real drummer behind the curtain, like, could have done that. Pedals, back tapes and that kind of stuff, the second drummer hidden. No, I can't do it anymore. I'm walking away and giving the band all the time it needs to replace me and get its act together before the next tour. We're still buddy. We're still in the same organization. We're still going to work together. But touring 2-3 years every night, performing, changing cities and all of that, it makes total sense that the drummer would be the first casualty. And the way Nicko is doing it is with the usual class that we've come to expect on the part of Iron Maiden. I will miss Nicko. Sadly, I will really, really miss him, but I'm glad he's doing it on his own terms.
All right. Well said. Well said. Giles, before you answer this question, can the band survive? I want to say that in the documentary, Nicko stated that he did not want to use a double bass drum on Where Eagles Dare. He said, I'm going to do it with one bass drum. If everybody remembers, that's the kind of drummer he was. He has also one songwriting credit on Dance of Death. It's New Frontier. So the whole 42 years in the band, he's got one writing credit, but he's also stated that he's worked on all the drum parts, or the majority of the drum parts, on all the albums he appeared on. Giles, can Iron Maiden survive with a new face? After 42 years, a new drummer.
Well, they can, if they can survive without Bruce Dickinson, they can survive without. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they've had their share of changes over the years. I mean, the Iron Maiden lineup, if you look at the first 4 albums, was anything but stable. It's just been fortunate that since 1999, it's been a very, very fixed lineup. So probably almost unheard of when you think of the upheaval Judas Priest have gone through. So yeah, I think that absolutely someone else can step in and do justice to the role, and absolutely it's going to be sad that it's not going to be Nicko anymore, but I do believe there are capable people out there that can do it. And what's the alternative? An acoustic only set with no drummer or no Iron Maiden? That's kind of what you're looking at. So
who else? Who would you like to see? I'll ask you both. Who would you like to see? It's a tough question now. Giles, who would you like to see replace Nicko? If you had a choice. Mark Zonder, okay. Anyone else?
Mark Zonder. That's good.
Okay. Toss his name in the hat. Stefan, who would you like to see replace Nicko?
Look, I'm not going to throw any names. Simply, I heard you guys mentioned Joe Lazarus before. I mean, if you look on YouTube, and there's one where he does Where Eagle Dares, note perfect. Every fill is there in pure detail. So yeah, he can certainly do it. Now, Iron Maiden, I mean, they're not stupid. They're professionals. They're not going to go steal somebody else's drummer. They will simply look at the pool of highly talented session drummers out there, people they already know, people they've already performed with, people who are known to be professionals, show up on time, keep the beat, get along with us, and never miss a show.
Has to be a Brit. Has to be a Brit, my friend. Has to be a Brit.
Probably has. Well, yeah.
Because Iron Maiden is all Brit. It's all Brit. I mean,
Yannick?
Yannick is a Brit. He's a Brit.
They're all United
from the United Kingdom.
Oh,
Yannick's from the United Kingdom. Right? I mean, the greater, right? The Great Britain, we'll say.
The British Empire. Yeah.
The British.
At this level.
Well, Yannick, where was Yannick born? Everybody, Yannick was probably what? Is he Irish? I don't remember.
You could get somebody from Helix with that reasoning, but no. The point
that's Commonwealth. That's Commonwealth.
The point I'm making is that they're going to get a guy who can just step in with minimal rehearsal, get gelled with the rest. Steve Harris being the other half of the rhythm section would certainly make that decision who he can bass and drum along with the best. And the other musicians, if they feel that the same thunder and feel is there, they'll go along with it. So I'm not really worried about who they'll get as a replacement. Iron Maiden is a highly tightly functioning metal unit. There's no good night, bad night. They are too professional for that. They don't skip a beat. They will make sure that the new drummer doesn't skip a beat. And, sometimes changing musicians is not always a bad thing. Because
I agree with you. A little bit of more oomph.
Well, if the band slows down the pace to keep up with their drummer who's having a tougher times, it affects the whole sound. But hey, we're a band, so we'll continue. Give you an example. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Rolling Stones. And, when I saw them without Charlie Watts the first time, I said, there's something different. And there was a bit more groove and a bit more energy and a bit more of this and a bit more of that. And when I went to see ZZ Top for the first time without Dusty Hill, says, you can't have ZZ Top without Dusty Hill. But his replacement brought a different kind of new energy. And I could say that about a lot of artists who at one point had to face the fact. Black Sabbath. I mean, I love Bill Ward. But let's face it, everyone who replaced him ended up being much better, and might not be the case for Iron Maiden. No two bands are alike. But I do believe that the quality of the shows, of the music, will not be diminished simply because the band will be able to make the right choice.
All right. I'm going to throw out some names that people are putting in the chat. First of all, they're saying Yannick is from Hartpool. I'm assuming that's somewhere in England. Giles, can you confirm where Hartpool is?
Yeah, Yannick, all of them are from the United Kingdom. Everyone, including Yannick. So we can leave that one alone. We can move on.
Leave that one alone. What about, I'll throw this one out, Dave Lombardo. I mean, he's not British. That's the problem, right? That's not going to happen. But he'd be a great choice. But he's young enough.
Pony.
Oh boy. He's a pretty great, he could pull it off. You know what I like? I'm Dave Lombardo.
I don't see that, but okay.
How about Saxons, Nigel Glockler?
Yeah, that's actually that would be a good fit, I think. Absolutely, yeah.
He's British. He's capable.
Well, he's really good as well.
He's capable. He's extremely capable. He can pull it off. I think Nigel would be a perfect fit. Joe Lazarus. A lot of people are typing in Joe Lazarus. So I think, what is that? Steve Harris's nephew or something?
I don't remember, but he's been very close and grown up with the Iron Maiden guys. I don't know the exact story, but there's some family link there somewhere. And it to me, it makes sense. Iron Maiden usually promote within their own, group of people they know and such. So I my guess is that's who it's going to be. Just a guess.
Dave Lombardo is not a one-trick pony. That's what I'm seeing in the chat.
No, I'm kidding here, but he will always
shame.
He will always be associated with the sound of Slayer, and Slayer musically is not Iron Maiden. That's what I meant with one trick pony. I should not have used that word. He's an excellent drummer, but he's not identified with the Iron Maiden sound. That is why I keep insisting that once we hear the name, we're all going to go, huh, I didn't see that one coming. Like you said, it's probably going to be within the greater Iron Maiden family.
Yeah.
You know, who knows, the Adrian Smith's drummer or Bruce Dickinson's drummer or something.
You know what? Somebody just said Bruce Dickinson's drummer, his solo band drummer. I don't remember his name, but somebody just mentioned that. So there you go.
Excellent musicians. These guys, when they go solo, they don't go with second-rate musicians. They go with the same level of professionalism. Whether you like the solo stuff or not, these guys don't go cheap. And I'm very, very confident that whoever they will pick, well, first of all, that new member will be welcomed, but he will not be an integral part. He's going to be a touring drummer. Let's face it.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So that's why Nigel probably, he's got his commitment to, to Saxon. I mean, he can't just. That's his band.
Reading the Nicko press release, it doesn't sound like he's going to be making records while the other guy tours. I think Nicko said goodbye, and there'll still be like Nicko solo things and side projects and related things that will be very much pushed via the Maiden ecosystem world, but I think this, whoever the new guy is, let's just say it's Joe, he'll be on the next record. He's, they're kind of an all or nothing kind of band. They don't have a guy that's sort of half a member and half not. It's very much a unit in that way, in my opinion.
I'm reading Doug Sampson and Thunderstick as choices. I think these guys are great drummers, but I don't know. I don't think they fit with the sound. I don't think they fit with the drum styles of Iron Maiden of today. That's
well, to me, that's a little bit like people that said that Paul Di'Anno should have come back in 1995 or 94. I mean, Iron Maiden generally don't, except when Bruce came back and Adrian came back. Those, I guess, two exceptions is a reasonable example, but they generally go forward.
Yeah, well, Thunderstick would have to learn how to drum before being.
Oh, he's a great drummer.
That's not very nice. He's a good friend of mine, and I really like Thunderstick. He's a brilliant musician and
I respect your friendship. I'm just laughing off.
He's more of a jazz drummer. He's a great jazz.
Really good drummer.
Look. I'm making a.
Stefan's like too many, not enough coffees.
You're making a lot of friends today, Stefan.
No, but look what Bruce wrote about him in his biography. It's just, that was 40 years ago, 45 years ago, but still. Look, I think the point is moot. That new drummer will be a session guy who can do studio, who can do live shows, sort of like what Black Sabbath did with their current
Vinny.
drummer.
Oh, and, no, not Vinny, the other guy.
Talent will come first. I do not think he's going to be a man in his 60s like the rest of the band. He's going to be much younger. And it will be a professional, not a fan who's learned every lick, not a guy from another band who will bring an extra audience. And he's going to be a younger session guy who's already proven himself on the road and on records with a variety of artists. And that's my guess.
Stefan, I agree with you 100%. They're not going to get in a guy in the 70s just to realize he's going to have a heart attack or he's going to have sort of health issues. They want a machine, right? They want some sort of machine, reliability, professional, part of the family, of course. So Amon is telling me that Joe Lazarus is Steve's nephew. So that is part of the family. He's young. He's reliable, great drummer. So it would make sense to Giles' point at the beginning. Let's end off with this. Giles, your favorite Nicko. Let's end off with this. Your favorite drum, we'll call it pattern or song that Nicko was on from Iron Maiden.
Where Eagles Dare. That's his calling card, that song. I mean, there's been loads of them, but that was the first that every Iron Maiden fan who bought Peace of Mind, I guess they heard the Flight of Icarus single first, but let's just say the first thing they heard when you put that record on was that, that
100%. And I would say the same thing. Stefan, would you say the same thing? That is his calling card. I agree.
Look, I grew up with the early Iron Maiden, as you know. I'm from the Paul Di'Anno era and Clive Burr. And when I heard that Clive Burr had left the band, and they're like, oh, shit, I love that guy. And, I was looking, and I'm trying to find it now, but I swear to God, I have my Trust album from that era, and I will get my hands on it before the end of this. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
There it is.
And it's actually autographed.
Nice.
Nicko.
Amazing.
My Trust album. I didn't see him with Trust, but when he first came to Montreal with Iron Maiden, he signed it for me. And he was like, oh, I Trust. And that's when I was amazed to realize he did not speak a single word of French. And I said, it was a French band. But that's when I understood that he was really a session man for Trust. Now, but yeah, so when Clive left, and I'm there like, what's it going to sound like? And then Peace of Mind comes out, and Where Eagles There, within 10 seconds, I knew that, oh my God, the drummer issue is moot. He fits in, staking it to the next level. And I'm certain that Steve Harris put that song and that beat and that opening on the very first track of Peace of Mind to tell the whole world.
That's right.
Never mind, we got our guy. I've never been a big fan of drum solos during concerts, but this is a guy, whenever he kicked the skins, he did it as a unique drummer with his own signature, often imitated, never copied, and never equaled, although we will see it equaled, I'm quite sure. But I believe that right off the bat on Peace of Mind, he set the tone for how good he was. Any songs on Peace of Mind is, my opinion, Nicko shining. And with Power Slave and with Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son, he just kept proving that he was it, so I cannot think of a single song where I could say, where the hell is Nicko going with this? Maybe those weird B-sides there, but
well, you know what? I'm in agreement with everything you said.
I gotta get out of here.
I got to run too. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Everybody leave us a message, a comment to Nicko, or who you would like to see replace Nicko. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Stefan, Giles, have yourself a wonderful Saturday.
All right.